So I expect to hit a nerve. Let me declare that from the beginning. I expect to hit a nerve. When I hit my nerve, I will leave you to make of it whatever you will, depending on where you are in life. Jennifer, how are you doing? The normal social strata does not serve a group of people who think that it serves. Society has these norms, right? And those who are very good, who are able to play by the norms, are supposedly rewarded in the social system. You are acknowledged, you are celebrated, you are given attention. So those who follow rules, they are the winners in society. You go to school, they tell you what to do, you do it, you get what you need, and you are supposed to win, right? How many of you went to school with intelligent people and know those intelligent people to be among the top performers in anything, apart from thinking, apart from societal credence? But if we are looking at proper outcomes, the best businesses are not run by the most intelligent people. The businesses that we know which are thriving are mostly run by school dropouts. They were societal misfits. They kicked off, didn't do it. A lot of entrepreneurs, now that people have focused on that area to study, are neurodivergent. Many of them you will find on the autistic spectrum. These people do not understand society. They don't play by society. But these are the people who are winning big time in business. The people who have common sense don't do well, generally. Because you see, common sense tells you some things. You try something once, it doesn't work. You try it twice, it doesn't work. 3 times, it does not work. And the people with common sense will pull a punch and they are gone. Joan and Mercy, Pretty, how you doing? They are gone. That's what society and common sense will have you do. Society and common sense says that if you have a business idea, you need to consult the council of elders and all the wise people in your community, get everybody's opinion, take time and analyze, think and draw annotated diagrams. Honey, by the time you finish drawing all these diagrams and rationalizing all these things, whatever edge you had in this business is gone. Other people will also have caught the idea. In fact, most of the people who will discourage you from doing it will themselves explore it, or they'll pass the information to somebody else who will. And funnily enough, those who play by societal rules will sit around with an idea and then see somebody else launch an inferior version of it and thrive. Yeah. Society builds you to be a follower, a sticker to rules, Kwame Rasta. And the rules that society will create for you are also containing, they are constraining. It will bind you. Those who are able to shirk this thing become free thinkers. They are the ones who do the hell as they please. They are the ones who fail and don't seem to care, and try again and fail again and don't seem to care, and continuously fail until one day they don't fail. And when they don't fail, that one day is when they win big. The entrepreneurs and business people you know, there's a girl I will make a video on very soon who used to work for a fashion brand, and she stayed there for a bit, figured out where this fashion brand orders their stuff, went and found a supplier, and she broke 100,000 in a short period of time with one blazer, just one blazer. A lot of social media and one blazer, and yeah, she quit to go. A lot of us like me who play the societal responsibility are the ones who go slow with our businesses. I could have taken my business to the sky and back in the time I have been running. Why haven't I done so? I am a socialized woman. I am married. and I have children. And because of those people, I cannot make decisions that will affect those people adversely. And so, instead of pumping the money into running adverts for my business, it goes into paying for somebody's flights or fees or whatever. Or in the summer, whilst they are here, it goes towards their enrichment and entertainment. Instead of, that's the social system, and that's the ties of this system and what it will do to you, your thinking, your decision making. People who play the societal game do not make decisions lightly. Society says decisions should not be made lightly. You must consult until you have no more brains for consultation before you act. You must do only after you have thought. You see, the funny thing with life itself is an action research. You need to act, then wait and see what that action does. And based on what that action results in, you make refinements and changes. You can sit in your toilet and plan, and you can plan things that look beautiful, foolproof. Adelaide and Diane, how you doing? You can have foolproof plans, and when you bring it into the ecosystem, you will discover that you are the fool. Yeah, Stephen. You must bring it to the ecosystem. You must bring it to a test to know. But the normal societal thinking, the programming that we undergo, does not prepare us for this. Most of the people who play by the rule book know that we've got to be careful, know that we've got to consult, know that we've got to think. We value thinking over action. Well, let me break the bad news for you. The winners are the action takers. They often take the thinking of the thinkers to act on. They win and you lose and you watch. That's why the most intelligent people in your class are not the most significant people you know. The hardest working people you went to school with are not the people that you will cite. So my school had our 60th anniversary. Event, they decided to mention some significant alumni. And as they started mentioning the significant alumni, a group of girls younger, so I was sat with my year group and they were sat right next to us, they are slightly younger. They were asking jokingly, so what does one need to do in order to be counted amongst these people? What can be done so that you can make that list? And I was laughing. One of them says, well, I hear the professor wasn't even the top of her class. And I laughed. See, I know my friend who is a professor and was not top of our class. Yes. And I also know top of the class who only remain with just a degree. They've never gone beyond a degree. Yeah. Some of the brains, well, they went further with their degrees and they've got stuff, but they are stuck. I am one such example. People will tell you, I'm intelligent, I'm incredibly intelligent. Well, I am on my way to a high school to go teach this morning. I'll be busy teaching some grade 7s on my timetable. Yeah, with a doctorate degree. Yes. These are some of the things around socialization. Why am I heading into the school this morning to go and teach grade 7s with a doctorate degree? I am doing so because I am sticking with societal programming, because I have got children, because I am playing the very responsible parent, because I do not want to rock the boat, and I need to make sure. And so in this period when I am choosing to stick to societal norms, what will happen is exactly what I've just described to you. I also know a friend who is also married, who also has children, and finished their doctorate round about the time I did. Was a high school teacher like me and quit within 2 weeks of her award. She stayed home for 8 months before she has found a university lectureship. She stayed home 8 months. Her husband was mad, whining, screaming, shouting. She refused to listen. She told the children they could take loans to figure themselves out. She's done her bit. See, she's radical. She's radical. That's why she has managed to get through the change that we both needed and wanted, and why I am still here. Why am I still here? I am playing the social conformist role. And whilst I'm busy playing the social conformist role, transformation doesn't come. In my case, I have known this. I'm not doing this blind. I have known this. And I've made peace with where I sit. But I'm sharing that with you in the hope that those of you who haven't made peace, those of you who dream of the outcomes, understand what it takes to get there. Yeah. When you play the societal norm rules, you will end up doing what I'm doing. Undervalued, underutilized, and still remain in places that don't serve you. Because you've got responsibilities. Because you've got loyalties. The societal norm says that you have to find another job before you leave your other one, because you need to contribute. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, you must quit this job in order to be hungry enough, to be desperate enough to pursue the next one with enough fight to get it. You see, those who play by the rule book will not be the winners you would write about because of some of the constraints I'm sharing with you. If you listen to everybody who is on the entrepreneur list, especially the ones which are serial entrepreneurs, you will hear them say that they've got ADHD. They do. I have never used that term, but what I say to people, and what a lot of people similar to me would say, is that we've got busy brains. We can't stop. I was having a chat with somebody with authority over me in a project, and we were talking and giggling, and she says, aren't we two busy brains? Yes, we are two busy brains. Yes, two busy brains. And when you are a busy brain, you will be thinking, doing, and not fitting in any mold. Those who are able to think, do, and not fit in any mold, they cover a lot of ground. Those who think, and continue to think, and analyze it, think, do not achieve much. So my question to you is, are you looking for outcomes? If you are looking for outcomes, action beats thinking any day. Let me give you a few seconds for that to land. If outcomes is what you are pursuing, action beats thinking any day. And you hear that in the African circles. All the professors we have not produced anything. True. He's a professor of engineering. He's become a thinker. He's not engineering nothing. He's thinking about engineering. He's theorizing about engineering. No, he's not about to make nothing. No, he's a thinker. Think, and make nothing. Yeah. I'm not saying there is no value for raw thinking in the ecosystem. There is value. However, the realities that we live with also require outcomes, tangible outcomes. We reward outcomes. If we are buying something, we will buy something tangible. So large. We do not buy thinking, sadly. And so, as a thinker, with no outcomes, with no tangible outcomes, well, as a thinker with no tangibles, darling, you may end up with empty pockets. And that's how it works. We do not buy just your thoughts. We must buy the manifestations of your thoughts. And if your thoughts are not manifesting into anything, well, what do you expect us to buy? Who will want to pay for your thoughts with no manifestations? Baby. So, what does this mean, this conversation I am having with you this morning? I'll bring you home. You see, those of you who listen to my videos on the progress agenda, you fancy yourself making progress, and then you go home and you consult your husband and he tells you it's not a good idea. And then you ask your sister, she does not agree. You have seen something that resonates with you. Steve-o, it resonates with you. Something deep down tells you that you should try this thing. You should get on this course. You should give this program a try. You should explore such a thing. And if you have your council of elders and you always consult your council of elders, you probably are one who does not act. Well, if you are not acting, you don't get tangibles, darling. You don't get tangibles. And we've already established what the ultimate end will be of that sequence. And then you meet people who don't have half the advices you do. They seem to be doing well and you don't understand. This one is not even that intelligent. Yeah. She's not even knowledgeable. Yeah. Because knowledge and intelligence is not actually the requirement. Bravado is more valuable on this. To be brave, trust and faith, they are more important than intelligence. You've got to trust your gut. You've got to know that you are not mad. That if something comes to your brain, it does so for a reason. And that you will be brave enough to explore why your brain thought it was a good idea. No, other people's brains are not better than yours, so you do not relegate your thinking and go for this. That's what it takes. That is what it would take. Have you got the balls? For me, a lot of the time, for the reasons I have outlined to you. Hey, Nkem, how you doing? For some of the reasons I've outlined to you, I'm a scaredy cat, I'm a chicken. Yeah. And when you're a scaredy cat, when you are a chicken, you pull a punch. A punch. I've made some interesting decisions, King Lalas, recently, and I am making interesting decisions and going on my gut, especially since I have had a reconnection with a lot of my friends from my youth. I've met so many people this summer, and a lot of these people knew me in a particular phase in my life when I was fearless. I was so convicted about the directions that I wanted to take my life, and I was in fear of nothing. We were jumping in, whether I knew how to swim or not. We were going to figure out the swimming once we were in the water. That was my attitude. And I listened to so many of my friends tell me about the younger version of me. How inspirational the younger version of me was. How badass and kick-ass that younger version of me was. How many of them were inspired by that crazy version of me. And it's made me realize something. To win requires that. The safer version of me is not getting the same outcomes. The version of me now with common sense, it doesn't help me get out of my rut. Too much common sense is why I am where I am. Way too much common sense is why I am where I am now. And it's been very helpful to be reminded by those who knew. To be reminded by those who knew me. Those who could help me understand why I have stalled. Why I am not getting the same mad outcomes that I used to. And it's been a resounding decision. Having listened to why the rot started in the first place. And I'm sharing this in the hope that I find some of you also maybe exploring why you are not getting the traction that you were expecting to get. That you are not one who lacks ideas, but somehow your ideas never materialize into anything. You chicken out. You chicken out and don't take the final actions that you should take in order to get you and your ideas to the birth point. That's why. You overthink and underdo. That's why. It should be the other way around. You should do more than you think. I know. If that conflicts with you, that's your socialization actually resisting a very simple fact. Yeah, you have been socialized to the way of you must think more than you do. You must do more than you think. Because you see, especially those of us who've been here long enough, we have been doing a lot of thinking. We do know enough. We should act. You are not mad. Vivian, you are not mad. Mr. Abner, you are not mad. It comes to you to say, try this, do this. There's a reason why it comes to you. You are not mad. I know overthinking is why you will abandon it to go and pursue something else that might be inferior. Well, it will be inferior when you come to think of it overall. Gojo? So, right now, what I want you to be is brave, because you need bravado. You need bravado. You need resolve. You need resolve. You need clarity in what you want to do. You must be clear. Mystic, how you doing? You must be clear of where you want to go. And once you've decided where that place is, go, go, go is all we do. You go, 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 go without stopping to think. And let me explain why this thinking thing is the theme of this conversation. Let me use an athlete, for example. It is something to do with mastery. You know, when you are at mastery, you don't think. You just act. You trust. You know. You believe. You have faith in what you already have. Then you don't need to stop and rethink. Imagine an athlete. I used to be an athlete. And there are races where you get in and you just run. Those races where I got in and I got out of my own head and I run, they brought me a different set of outcomes. To the races where I am trying to think. When you are busy thinking, you don't act. In fact, a lot of my races where I performed well, what the coaches said to me was that to keep your head down. So you keep your head down and you get to the 45-degree angle. When you come out of the blocks, you get to the 45 and you power. You just power. You put all the force you have behind your muscles, and you trust that you are heading in the right direction, and you just go. You just go. The times when I have done very well, I haven't even stopped to look at my competitors. I just went. There are times where you keep your eyes so tunnel visioned that you are almost blind to everything else. Well, yeah, those are the times where you were operating at mastery. And funnily enough, if you were at mastery points, if you have done enough training, you should have done so much training that you yourself trust in yourself. That's the key thing. That's why we prepare. That's why we train. So that you have trust in yourself. You have faith in yourself. That you know you are enough. So you go off and you do it. Yeah. If you don't have faith in yourself, you will start looking around you. What are the others doing? Oh my God. Oh my God. And yeah, your energy is not being used to power your muscles. Some of your energy will be diverted into your brain to start thinking, to start second guessing, to doubt. And when you second guess and doubt, it slows down your action. If it doesn't stop it, it slows it down. Stands to reason, doesn't it? Stephanie, it stands to reason. You cannot be slowed down and expect to make good progress. If you are going to make good progress, you must do so at your best pace, at your terminal velocity. And to be able to get to terminal velocity, you must be at trust and faith. And you will have trust in yourself and faith in yourself when you feel that you have done enough practice and you are at mastery. So what are my lessons this morning? My lessons this morning are for you to get in on what it is you need to do and to go and submit yourself to learning and practice so that you feel skilled, you feel competent, you get to the threshold where you believe that you are able to do it. Levon, how are you doing? And when you get to this point where you have faith in yourself, you also need to give yourself the freedom. When you ask how are you doing, you give yourself the freedom to execute that which you have been rehearsing. You have rehearsed this for 5 years, 2 years, 1 month, whatever. And you've done very well learning. Okay, now is the time for you to go and practice it. Let's see. Let's see what you've been working on. It's time to show. So let's go and then demonstrate. Let's see. When it's time for you to perform, that's not the time for you to think. No. Performance time does not require thinking. There comes a time where you have to say to yourself, hey, the time for all this practicing and learning is gone. It's now time for me to put it to use. Let's see. Let's put it to use and see if it's been good enough. And in order to do that, you've got to also be willing to accept whatever the outcomes are. It's the fear of that which stops most of us from trying. Anyway, hopefully, knowing what stops you from acting may help you to make alternative choices. And I hope and pray that those alternative choices will help you to get a different set of outcomes. Let me pray for you and for myself, because on this journey, A lot of wisdom is needed. Wisdom to know when to act. Wisdom to see the threshold points. Wisdom to know when over-consultation is just a stalling technique. Wisdom to know that all these extra things you are doing is fear getting to you. Wisdom to know that that is just going to waste your time and lead you nowhere. And the bravado to make the decisions you need to get the outcomes you want. I wish you the best compliments of today, and hopefully we will interact later on during the day. Assalamu alaikum.